Here we go. We are live. We are live here to read from Days of Darkness. Going to be reading chapter 2. Life is Unpaved. And we're setting up on Instagram, getting it going. Awesome. Hello, Instagram. We have a reading happening. If you're happening to catch this on your timeline, definitely tune in, tap in. If you don't have the time right now, come watch the replay. Sending you love as you go throughout your day. But yeah, this is going to be a fairly quick read. And yeah, my name is Angelique, also known as Angelique the Artist. I haven't said that in a little while. I am the author and illustrator, designer, editor of the book Days of Darkness, a collection of insights that brought forth light from some challenges in my early 20s. It's also a coloring book, and some people have found it kind of like a workbook, and they've written notes in it and um, just have had some really profound understandings and insights. And I think this chapter, somebody mentioned to me recently, her name is Sandra. She is on Instagram. I think it's Soul Awakening with Sandra is her handle on Instagram. And she has recently moved through a um, stage 1 cancer diagnosis. And she said that this chapter helped her as she was navigating the tail end of that experience, um, and just recognizing that her life is her own, and that people tell you like you're supposed to do this one thing and then everything will work out fine, but uh, we are all on an individual experience, so what works for someone may not always work for you, and what works for you someone may not understand. So we'll get into this chapter, but first, as we are on this reading journey, I am starting with the author's note and the dedication so that we have a little bit of context before we dive into things. Author's note: this is a work of nonfiction. The events and experiences detailed herein have been described from the author's memory to the best of the author's ability. This publication is designed to provide personally experienced information in regard to the subject matter covered. It is sold and shared with the understanding that the author is not engaged in rendering psychological, financial, legal, or other professional services. If specific expert assistance, I mean, financial, legal, or other professional services. If specific expert assistance or counseling is needed, the services of a competent professional in that field should be sought. Parental advisory, content warning, topics of suicide and depression, some sexually suggestive situations, and strong language. And I do want to let you all know that I am a certified life coach. I do consider myself a practitioner. I'm not a licensed practitioner. However, I do have experience with building, maintaining, growing, expanding my spiritual practice and the things that are related to um, mind science and awareness of the law of life and the universal law and just being connected to that inner creator. So if you are looking for support with building your own personal practice, or if you are looking for some accountability with creating a practice and sticking to it, um, I can support with that. That is a service that I offer. And this year I am working on creating more group spaces, not so much the one on one, but I am open to that. If you would like to have a conversation, just reach out to me and we can um, navigate that. and what way would be best to support you. Dedication. This book is dedicated to all the younger versions of me. She is the giant upon whose shoulders, hey Angelique, she is the giant upon whose shoulders I stand. Without her strength, perseverance, and resilience, I wouldn't be able to stand as tall as I do today. I love you, little me. hmm Also, thank you to the virtual mentors who have poured light into my mind and heart. Your decision to be a light keeper in this world has saved millions of lives, including mine. So, that is the author's note and the dedication. We are diving into chapter 2 of my book, Days of Darkness. Yes, Angelique. I love you, little me. I love your little you. um, and as I kind of mentioned, Sandra talked about this chapter and how it supported her as she was navigating kind of the tail end of processing her experience with the cancer diagnosis. Um, yeah, and I'm going to find some way to kind of like clip that or share that because I think it was really profound what she shared. But being quick today because we have a pretty tight schedule. So, chapter 2, Life is Unpaved. When we're young, some teachers and guardians tell us that life is cookie cutter. They say, just follow the rules, stay in line, and everything will be fine. We start to believe that if we take the right route and follow the blueprint to a T, we'll strut down the road virtually unscathed. It's funny because that's not how life worked for them or anyone else. Even when people have specific plans and goals for their future, life unfolds with many adjustments along the way. Most people go along with the status quo, trying to survive and not ruffle feathers. Many of our elders have and still are stumbling through the underbrush of life. Most don't share their missteps openly because they want to keep up appearances. Adults have a tendency to fear for the life of young people who don't follow a set plan or path. They think children may go the wrong way if they do their own thing. And as the responsible adult, they would feel shame, blame, and guilt if anything bad happened. In addition, some adults envy younger people who have the boldness to create their own lane because they don't have that same boldness. Too often, when a young person decides to take the guaranteed paved road, it leads to feelings of constant failure or anxiety around messing up. This happens because life is always changing. What works for one person may not work for another. And when things don't work, we can feel like we are the problem. I'm just going to pause for the cause. Something that I've learned as I became an adult and aware that I'm an adult, I've noticed how children are very quick to be like, what did I do? How did I cause this? How am I the problem? And as an adult now, I have been mindful of moments in my life where I feel that kind of jade, self judgment or blame come up when things are happening, and being able to disconnect myself has been a very powerful tool for me because I've come to the understanding that everybody, especially adults, are living their own individual experience, and the choices that they make and how they respond or feel about something is their own, just like it is my own. So I'm not the problem. I'm not a problem. There are consequences to my actions. I am willing to take accountability. I am willing to be responsible, right? But just to take on things from other people and feel like I'm the problem, I've been able to release that. And I've noticed that with young people, that's something that is kind of a first and foremost answer when things go wrong. Is like, what did I do? How am I to blame? How am I the problem? So, yeah, just a little tangent there. What works for one person may not work for another. And when things don't work, we can feel like we're the problem. Knowing that whatever age you are not failing or messing up. You are not a problem. You are living. Life is about exploration and discovery. There is no path set in stone for anyone. There is only the path that we choose to create moment by moment. That is Life is Unpaved, Chapter 2 from my book, Days of Darkness. Angelique, if you are interested in getting a book, I realized I had not sent you one. You were not on my list, girl. So if you want to DM me your mailing address, I will send you a book because I also appreciate your support um, through healing conversations and such. But something I just want to touch on real quick because I was reminded of it reading this last line. There is only the path that we choose to create moment by moment. I have a friend named Carrie Crosby. She is the founder of ATVA Impact Group, and her and another friend of hers named Dr. Sue Carter, Carter Collins. She They do a conversation called the Late Night Happy Hour, and they just talk about whatever comes forward for them. And something that they spoke about recently, well, something that Carrie spoke about recently was how transformation is this destination, you know? Um, and they talked about transformation as a destination, like transformation is ever unfolding, right? But in this analogy, Carrie shared that let's say transformation is this destination in the middle of a cornfield, right? But there's no like direct path to it. You know how they have the corn mazes, and there's usually like a path, and we're trying to figure out where we're going. And when you get to a certain wall of corn, you're like, oh, I guess this is the end of the path, right? But just imagine that there's this cornfield, and in the spot in the middle, there is the destination of transformation, of wholeness, well being, just this next level of abundance. And then around it, it's just all this corn, but there's no set path. What we do as people who are seeking transformation, who are into personal development, spiritual practice, is we push against the corn because we know that the transformation is there, and we just slightly slide it to the side or press it down, and we create a path. The path isn't already there, we are actively creating it. And our path is not going to look the same as someone else's path. And the thing with pushing the corn down and making your way to transformation is that you can't just like run full force into this wall of corn without, smacking yourself up a bit, right? And I mean, you could do that if you wanted to. But the way that she demonstrated it and illustrated it in her example was that it's about doing it with ease, like allowing, and this is a theme that's been coming up for me recent, allowing myself to learn with ease and grace and not having everything have to be a struggle or a fight or, beating me up. Not everything has to be hard, being open and willing to spirit guiding me with ease. And so that illustration, that analogy of going to this destination of transformation while making my own path, pushing aside the corn, pushing aside the different stalks. If there's a boulder in front of me, like a big old rock, understanding like I'm not pushing through this boulder to continue on my path. I might go around the boulder. I might go over it. I might decide to dig under it. I don't know. But going through it is not going to be the path of most flow, right? Like that would take quite some time and effort and energy to bust through the boulder. If I allow myself to actually flow like air or like water, I'm just going to go around the boulder one way or another to continue on to my destination. And so when we are on this journey of transformation, when we're on this journey of self discovery, allowing ourselves to have that strength to moment by moment create a path, giving ourselves the grace and the ease to moment by moment create the path and not feel judgment to ourselves or about ourselves for the path that we're creating. Not feeling like, oh, somebody should have told me this, or somebody should have had this ready for me. Really taking that self accountability, really taking on that agency and that authority to say, hey, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be going. And this is the path I'm choosing to take. And just having the love and respect for yourself to do that. But yeah, I thought that was a really powerful analogy that she has shared. It's okay, I'm grateful and would love to send you a proper energy exchange. I just been dealing with some things. Thank you so much. You are worth the energy exchange. Absolutely, absolutely. And people, you listen. I have been allowing people to send gifts. You feel me? Um, and and I just have things to give away, and it is all energy exchange. So if you would like to exchange something, if you would like to send something, we can arrange that. You feel me? Just let me know. Message me. But I would also like to exchange the energy in that way. That is why I was like, yeah, absolutely a gift to Angelique because she has contributed. And I'm grateful for the energy that you've already given. But yes, beautiful people, like I said, we're keeping this one fairly tight and to the point today because we got a day today. But yes, that was chapter 2 from my book, Days of Darkness. It is available on my website, vzspaces.com. V as in victory, Z as in zebra, spaces as in space. .com. You can get it there. My book is not available on Amazon. Y'all don't listen. Don't look for my book on Amazon because it ain't there, and I don't think it's gonna be. So unless listen, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But yes, and if you are local to LA, we can exchange some sort of pickup or whatever. I do have plans to do like some readings and things of that nature, so be on the lookout for that. Also, healing conversations. We are planning an in person experience here in Los Angeles, and let us know if you're somebody who regularly attends or would be interested. When would be good for you? We're thinking maybe April, maybe like August or September. Somebody let us know that summer is not the best time for them to travel because they have kids. So we're thinking maybe like September, just to give people some leeway to get ready to come out here. It's going to be a very intimate experience. We're going to get one of those nice hotel suites with a little kitchenette, have a little snack, have our conversation, and then maybe go to dinner, you feel me, or go to lunch before. It's gonna be a cute little vibe. So it'll be just like a 1 day experience. You can come out. Uh, Angelique September would be better for you. Okay, good, good. This is good stuff because we were just like, whenever they're available, whenever they're available. But it's looking like September might be that vibe. So that gives everybody plenty of time to get things together. And yeah, I really want to squeeze y'all. I really want to just share that energy in real time, and just see what that experience is. And Raymel and I are looking for ways to further expand this healing conversation space because we've seen how it's been transformative for us and also for the people who have been rocking with us for this year or so. I love you too. Have a most marvelous day, Queen. You absolutely are such a blessing to the world. So I know that you're taking that light out with you as you journey on today. And I'm also going to be wrapping this up because it's 9:45 and I love y'all. So yes, Days of Darkness, available on my website. Link is in my Instagram bio. Um, yeah, have a beautiful, wonderful, absolutely spectacular, marvelous day because you deserve it, because you are worthy, because you have the capacity, ability, and the energy to create it. And I know this for you, and I'm rooting for you. And I will see y'all next week for our next chapter. And I might do another coloring page if I have the time. Also, I'll be talking with Lisa LeBlanc next week. So we'll see if we got time to color. But in any case, I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Yes, yes, YouTube. Thank you so much for your presentness. And I will see you on the next one.